All right, Amazon.com scheduled to report second quarter earnings after the close today. Our next guest says the company has solid growth prospects. Hillary Kramer is the editor-in-chief of Game Changer Stocks, an online investment newsletter. She's also author of the book, Ahead of the Curve, 9 Simple Ways to Create Wealth by Spotting Stock Trends. And she joins us now to preview Amazon's earnings and offer her perspective on this reporting season. Hillary, great to have you again on Fast Forward. Let's take a look at Amazon. I'm looking at the stock right now, down about $1.43 at the moment, but you're pretty bullish on this. You've got a $250 price target.
That's right. Amazon is one of those stocks that is a super category killer. They're expanding into China, and that's very important, building 2 fulfillment centers that will be 35 miles from Shanghai to deliver books, any kind of products, electronics, within 6 hours into Shanghai. You also have the fulfillment centers here. So the reason there isn't a lot of excitement right now around Amazon, and the reason I was one of the few who called the $200 target, is that everyone thinks on the street that Amazon spends too much money building fulfillment centers. The focus is going to be, Lisa, on margins. But you have the Kindle, you have the ebooks. Ebooks are selling more than hardcover books.
The Kindle. How are Kindle sales doing? We keep hearing about the iPad sales. I was a Kindle user until I got my iPad, and now I have to say, it's a lot easier. This is one of the skills of Apple, of course, but it's a lot easier to just use everything off my iPad.
Right, and that's true right now. But we have a tablet coming out in August or September from Amazon.
Okay.
And I think that new tablet will be very important. It'll be like a virtual locker for all of the media that can be downloaded from Amazon. It can go right there. There'll be a lot of compatibility, and I think you're going to see that Amazon's going to take a big bite out of the Apple, and
right.
not New York City, the Apple.
The Apple, right, the whole Apple. In terms of headwinds for Amazon, let's talk about the tax debate that has been going on for quite a while now.
Yeah, this is a real problem that is also a distraction for the management of Amazon, which is another Wall Street issue going on right now, especially in places like California. So Amazon is making the decision to build some of these fulfillment centers in other areas of the country where they don't have to worry about being taxed on the products that they're selling online. This could be a real strain on them, a real overhang, but ultimately they have enough legislative lobbying ability that they're going to get through that. So that's why Amazon right now, no excitement. Everyone was waiting for Netflix yesterday, but we also saw what happened, right, with Netflix. The problem there was you had too much churn when prices rose. When it comes to Amazon, pricing is very competitive. And Amazon is now 3.5 times bigger than the next online retailer out there, which is Staples. So they keep getting bigger. It's truly that 800-pound gorilla.
That was a surprise to me as well. I was looking at it through some of your notes on the stock, and I was surprised to see how big they are as an online full retailer, not just of books and electronics.
Right, and that's where 3P comes in, and that's all about the secondary selling they do, the fulfillment by Amazon. And those commissions are going to be very important to the revenue bottom line, and that's why we may see more than a 50% increase in revenues for the quarter in a few hours from now.
So, Hillary, let's quickly move on to another stock that you're paying close attention to. GM reports August 4th. We obviously got results from Ford today. Tell me what you're looking for in GM's numbers.
GM is going to be very important. The numbers for me are going to be not just revenue, but it's going to be what they are paying to actually acquire new customers, especially in Europe. We know that there's growth in Europe, emerging markets, but we're going to have to see what those margins really look like with GM. Also, the cost of goods sold, the input costs. We know from other companies that there's a lot of pressure on pricing, inflationary pressure. So what that might actually do to General Motors. General Motors, Lisa, is very important. Sales last year were $135 billion. That's incredible when you think that Apple had $62 billion in sales. Yeah. So the key to General Motors is it's important as a bellwether for entire economy, and so much money flows through it. And that's why, for me, I'm watching that much more carefully, let's say, than I care about an Alcoa, which kicks it off.
And then very quickly, when we talk about a bellwether, Teradyne, this is a company that maybe many people don't look at as a bellwether for the broader economy, but they report tomorrow and you're paying close attention.
Right, this is the semiconductor testing equipment space. Always keep your eye on it. They're so much earlier in the production process of semiconductors. They will tell us, Teradyne, as well as the other test equipment companies, if they're seeing any softness in orders, production starting to wane. So I'm always staring at Teradyne's numbers. That's very important for me.
And then very quickly, let's touch on all the oil companies.
Okay.
No oil company has reported, right? We have a slew, though, later this week.
Right. We have Conoco, Exxon, Royal Dutch. We have Chevron coming. Now, the key there, though, is it's not as important to me as their numbers that come out in February. You know, they have those annual numbers that say, you know, what the reserves are. So the oil companies, though, we are going to be looking for, do they have enough oil? Okay, so it is what they're bringing up from out of the ground. That's what us on the street really care about with them, rather than the pricing right now.
Hillary, thanks so much for joining us.